Hey there, it's Chris Johnson. I'm a Microsoft MVP for Office Development, and I'm a director at PSC Group, a consulting firm out of Chicago. And this weekend I had a chance to build my first Hello World app in the new SharePoint Framework, which is an open connected platform for building web apps for Office 365 and SharePoint Online using modern web tooling. So this was just released this past Thursday, and I got a chance to play it this weekend. So what I'm going to show you in this video is the results of following a couple of the tutorials that are available out on github.com/SharePoint. So over here in Windows Explorer, I've scaffolded a simple Hello World web part application, and I have that open here in Visual Studio Code. And I'm just going to open my command line over here and start this. So I'm just going to use gulp to actually start serving this document up via Node. So here we go. The page is actually running and being served via Node now, and you can see my browser, it's open the SharePoint Workbench. And if I go into that Workbench and I add my new web part, you can see that I wrote myself a little message in here. And just to prove to you that this is running a live set of code that I have here in Visual Studio Code, I'm just going to say Happy Wednesday. And when I save that and I open up my browser over here, it's actually going to auto refresh the page. Gulp is watching the directory, so there it goes. My web part's now telling me Happy Wednesday. And I can even preview this, what this is going to look like in a mobile view or in a tablet. Really cool, but that's not the coolest part. The cooler part is actually running this in SharePoint Online itself. So I can tell SharePoint Online to actually serve up my local Node server and show me the web part actually in context, so I can start accessing data from SharePoint Online. So you'll see here, if I'm running this locally, I'm giving it some mock data. So when I go and run this actually in my SharePoint Online tenant, I should be able to load in some true SharePoint lists that exist in the SharePoint Online tenant. So I'm going to open up SharePoint Online now, and here I am in my dev tenant. And in my dev tenant, I have the workbench.aspx file uploaded to a document library. And if I open that up, it's actually going to allow me to go and grab data that I'm serving from my local Node server and show it in the browser here within a SharePoint context. So I have to allow unsafe scripting in order to allow that cross-domain scripting. But once I do that, you can see that I have the ability to run my existing web part over here, and instead of loading my mock data, now it's loading actual data from my SharePoint dev site. So again, to prove to you that this is running code locally, I'm just going to open up VS Code again and change some of the text. We'll save that. Now, Gulp's not going to auto-refresh this page in Chrome because Chrome's my default browser, but if I go over here and refresh it, we should see the changes that I implemented. Look at that. So again, that is the new SharePoint framework running locally via Node and Gulp, and then also running in context of my SharePoint Online development tenant. Again, my name is Chris Johnson. I'm a Microsoft MVP and director at PSC Group. We're a consulting firm out of Chicago. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and good luck developing modern web apps on the new SharePoint framework. Thanks.